What's wrong, ma'am?
My daughter fell in the pool and she's not breathing. She's 7 years old. Her lips are purple. What do I do? Water's just coming out of her nose.
It's well known that a mother's heart is incredibly connected to her children, even if she is miles away. This makes us wonder how a mother would react if that connection with her children were severed. Being a mother, Amanda devoted her entire life to her two children, who had the highest value in her life. But eventually, a very sad, tragic incident causes Amanda to lose both of her children. How did she lose both of them in a single day? And who is behind all of this? To fully grasp everything, let's go back and watch the events from the beginning. Well, not that far. The story starts in the American state of Florida, more precisely in a tiny community known as Esto. There were about 364 residents in the tiny village of Esto in 2010. However, the real beginning of our narrative is in 2007. A little family, including the mother, Amanda Lewis, who was 27 years old at the time, lived in this small town. She was well known for being a single mother, which denotes that either she was never married or that she had been married once and then divorced. Her two kids had different fathers because they were half-siblings. Since Amanda assumed entire responsibility for parenting the two children in the absence of a father, we don't know much about the fathers of these children or their relationship with them. Furthermore, not much is known about their connection to Amanda. However, in the end, Amanda assumed complete accountability for the upbringing of the kids. They resided in the home of her friend Alan Carnley, who grew to know the kids and be considered a member of the family. He would frequently bring the kids presents, acting as though he were their father. Let's now get to know the kids. Adriana was the older daughter, and she was 7 years old. AJ, her younger brother, was 6 years old, 1 year younger than her. These two kids were really distinct from one another in terms of personality, even if their ages were not that great. And that's very common in any home. Experience it. Children do not necessarily share the same personality just because they grow up in the same home. For instance, Adriana loved to play, run around, and was constantly full of energy. She frequently screamed in the house, but AJ was a peaceful, obedient, and extremely intelligent youngster. She was diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, at some point because she was more energetic than usual. She also had a bedwetting problem, and her mother had once sent her to a behavioral center. Eventually, Adriana had to be left with someone while Amanda finished her army duty after receiving a summons to duty. She made the decision to spend a few months apart from Adriana and her family, but because of the time spent apart, Amanda found it difficult to rekindle her relationship with Adriana after leaving the service. But eventually, Adriana got used to Amanda again, and their pattern returned. Amanda spent her days at home while working night shifts as a nurse in a nursing home. Her friend Alan, who shared their residence, would, on the other hand, leave for work in the morning and come home in the late afternoon. This was the usual procedure up to August 8th, 2007. That day, Amanda worked her shift through and came home worn out. She slept for most of the day. Adriana and AJ were watching cartoons while Alan was supposed to be at work. Once a few hours, Amanda got up with the intention of going school supply shopping with the kids once she had some rest. The kids were pleading with her to go swimming in the backyard pool, so she started getting ready. Because it was so hot, Amanda declined, telling them to get ready to go shopping instead. While Amanda was finishing up, the kids walked outside to play. As usual, Adriana's voice was the loudest. They had no idea that today would be their last day together. The lovely day quickly transformed into a real-life horror film in a matter of minutes. Amanda called emergency services in a panic, saying her small daughter Adriana had fallen into the backyard pool. Her lips were purple, and her face had turned blue, and Amanda was holding Adriana and desperately attempting to revive her. Amanda was given CPR instructions by the dispatcher while she remained on the line, but the response was delayed, losing valuable time.
911.
I need an ambulance.
What's wrong, ma'am?
My daughter fell in the pool and she's not breathing. She's 7 years old.
All right, hang on just a second, ma'am.
Oh, God.
Just a second, ma'am.
Her lips are purple. What do? Water's just coming out of her nose.
When an ambulance arrived at the residence, Amanda was sobbing and was clutching Adriana while unsuccessfully attempting to resuscitate her. Amanda was crying as the police took this picture of her when they first arrived. In order to protect AJ from the painful experience, his grandfather Charles drove Adriana and Amanda to the hospital. Amanda was in the hospital, her mind racing over the possibility that she would lose her kid as she stood outside the emergency department. Adriana's case manager, Dr. Renee Fox, told Amanda shortly after that they were attempting to restart Adriana's heart and that there was a chance she would live. Adriana's pulse failed to recover for a while and then stopped again. When the physicians discovered Adriana was dead, they told her mother. At 5:05 p.m., Adriana was pronounced deceased. According to Amanda, she knew it would be her last time to see Adriana, so she caressed her for the very last time in that moment. An hour after arriving at the hospital, Adriana passed dead. At first, there were no indications that the event wasn't just a coincidence. Adriana had apparently fallen into the pool while playing based on all the evidence, but all changed when the cops received a call 4 hours after the event. The caller asserted that he was the only person who saw Adriana die. He was present when it all happened, that it wasn't an accident, but rather a planned action. The police lacked sufficient information at that point to conclude Adriana had been killed or to determine the identity of the potential suspect. Let's examine the circumstances that gave rise to the occurrence in more depth. As previously noted, the kids were playing outdoors while Amanda prepared to take them shopping. Later, Amanda came out to ask AJ where Adriana was. In response, AJ said Adriana is in the pool. Since Adriana had forbade them from swimming because of the heat, Amanda took this to mean that Adriana was close to the pool and not in the water. In order for them to go, Amanda instructed AJ to phone Adriana. Adriana, as was previously said, was always playing and running. Amanda had taken down the ladder earlier because she was aware that the kids couldn't enter the pool on their own and that she would always need to set one up. She therefore thought Adriana was unable to go into the pool. Amanda didn't take a .J. statement that Adriana was in the pool seriously. Instead, she assumed Adriana was only close to the water. It's possible that a .J.'s description was inaccurate given that he was only 6 years old. The children's shouts had stopped though, and there was an unsettling silence. As Amanda realized, she raced outside in alarm to find Adriana drowning and AJ attempting to save her. Amanda initially believed Adriana was playing with bugs, since occasionally they float on the surface of the pool. She thought Adriana had fallen in while playing and lost her footing. This made sense to the police. Adriana could have gotten into the pool with a toy car even if there was no ladder available. Adriana had obviously used this vehicle. Additionally, they discovered a net in the pool, indicating that she may have been attempting to catch insects, confirming Amanda's first theory. But let's return to the witness who reported suspicious activity to the authorities. This witness visited the police station and gave a detailed account of what they had witnessed, including Adriana's murderous process. The startling discovery was made when Adriana's body was autopsied by the medical examiner, and the results exactly matched the witness's description. Marks on her forehead and other head regions suggested that she had probably been restrained and compressed in an attempt to drown. The witness's inconsistent account of events made this case unique. The witness would sometimes assert that they had seen everything, and other times they would argue that they were simply too far away to see anything. The police were suspicious of this inconsistency because the witness had accused Adriana's mother, Amanda, and they wondered if the witness was making this up to put someone else in the frame. Amanda fiercely defended herself after hearing the witness's evidence, claiming that it was an accident and that she had nothing to do with it. She was chosen by the police to take a lie detector test, which she passed. This put the authorities in a difficult situation since, while the witness's statement looked credible, there was insufficient proof to establish Amanda's guilt. After that, the police conducted more background checks on Amanda and spoke with those who knew her. They spoke with Brenda Burns, Amanda's mother, who suggested it wouldn't be shocking if her ex-husband had encouraged the witness to lie because he detested Amanda and spent a lot of time with her. Brenda Burns was married to a man named Charles at the time of the incident, but later divorced him. However, Charles, her former partner, refuted any involvement and made a crucial statement. Even though he didn't like Amanda and thought she was a horrible mother who deprived her kids of food all night, he wouldn't go so far as to accuse her of murder. After that, things got even more murky when a witness revealed that Adriana was afraid of the water, which begged the question of why she would go into the pool by herself, which we'll find out in part 2 of this story. If you liked the story, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more suspicious stories and cases like this.